Good evening and welcome to Visionaries Talk Back. I am your host, Shannon Sproul. I am an author and I am the CEO of SMS Write On Publishing. Tonight, all the way from Arkansas, we have Cassandra Hill with us tonight. She is a professional gerontologist and certified wellness coach. I'll just give you a little bit of her background. Her career experience is varied, working with the older adult population across various settings such as skilled nursing facilities, hospice, and long-term acute care hospitals. She is passionate about advocating for older Americans and devotes her volunteer efforts to causes affecting seniors. Currently, she is on the Governor's Advisory Council on Aging for the state of Arkansas and the Advisory Committee for the Alzheimer's Cure Foundation. In 2014, Cassandra was diagnosed with systemic lupus. After living in pain for approximately a year, Cassandra decided to take control of her health. She took courses in health and wellness and started her path to healing. Starting in 2016, Cassandra entered remission with her condition and is thriving instead of surviving. While on her wellness journey, Cassandra crossed paths with Dr. Venus Opal Reese, who planted the seed to empower women with autoimmunity issues to start their life after chapter. Her business, Holistic Living Consulting LLC, was birthed out of love for wanting to guide people to healthy living. Holistic Living Consulting develops healthy living programs for people with autoimmune conditions and those at risk of developing autoimmune conditions, individuals desiring to lose weight or maintain weight loss, individuals over 55 desiring age healthy, and senior living providers, independent living, assisted living, memory care, geriatric psychiatry, and hospice. Please welcome Cassandra Hill to Visionaries Talk Back. Hey, Cassandra.
Hello, Shannon.
Good. I'm glad to have you today. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good. How's the weather in Arkansas?
Very, very hot.
I think it's hot everywhere. It's a hot season. I was reading somewhere, I think it was somewhere overseas where they were just having extremely hot weather and people just getting sick and everything. But it's hot, and I'm in Buffalo, and it's very humid here. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
I'm kind of glad to be in the house right now.
Me too. I love my AC.
I know that's right. So let's talk about you. So I read your bio, and why don't you tell the audience what the bio didn't cover? Tell us about Cassandra Hill.
Oh my goodness. I'm a middle-aged woman, I guess you could say. I just turned 38. My birthday was Monday.
You're still young.
I'm from Arkansas, born and raised.
Okay.
Went to college here at Arkansas State University, got my bachelor's, received my master's, University of Arkansas in Little Rock.
All right.
Majored in gerontology, and God just blessed me to be in a career that I love and really passionate about, and been in the field, graduated in '06 and been working with the older adult population since.
All right.
That's my heart.
Okay.
And now I'm learning that other things are my heart too.
and one of our audience just wished you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
So happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Tell us about gerontology. We don't hear about that a lot. Explain what that exactly is.
It's strange that you don't hear about that a lot. When you look at the United States, our country is aging. I think one of the reasons why we don't hear about it a lot is because we're afraid to age.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't like to talk
gerontology
about getting old.
is we don't like to talk about getting older, but in our hesitance to shy away from it, we're not prepared. So we got to change the conversation. We got to start having conversations early and often.
Okay.
Basically, gerontology is just the study of aging, looking at a person's physical health, psychological health, as well as social health. I think a lot of times we forget that social component, but it's just as important as physical, and sometimes it can affect your physical health.
Okay. True.
Yeah.
In your bio, I read that you were diagnosed with lupus. What was your reaction when you were first diagnosed with lupus?
Honestly, Shannon, I had been sick for some years, on and off for about 7 years. I was
Okay.
having symptoms. Doctors never really pinpoint. For a long time, they just told me I was anemic,
Okay.
and I thought, well, this isn't causing all this. So I was sick off and on for some time, and by the time I started having like some major symptoms, something in my gut just told me something's not right with me, and let's get to the bottom of it. And actually, I had been to several doctors all over the state of Texas, and I requested my medical records and started looking, trying to figure out a trend. And looking at it, I thought, wow, it seems like my body is attacking itself. And so I went online, started researching, and that's when I learned about lupus.
Okay.
And and so I went to my doctor and just asked him to do a test. And actually, from reading what lupus was all about, I was like, I think I have this. So
Okay.
honestly, when by the time I got the diagnosis, it was actually a relief because for a long time I was sick, and because doctors couldn't pinpoint it, it made me feel like I wasn't believed, like you're really not that sick, get over it, you know. But I knew something wasn't right with me. So by the time I got the diagnosis, I was like, okay, I had it all this time and just didn't have a name for it. But I actually felt relieved to know, okay, yeah,
And it's funny you say that because I had Graves' disease, and I had a similar situation going from doctor to doctor, being told it was one thing or this or that. And you do have a sense, even though you don't want to be sick, there's that sense of relief, like, okay, I'm not crazy. There
yeah,
it's still like it's in your head. There's something wrong with you mentally. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with you
yeah,
physically. But to get that diagnosis,
yeah,
you can take a deep breath. Okay, now let's tackle taking
yeah,
care of this situation. Okay.
yeah.
Could you briefly educate the audience to exactly? I know a lot of people have heard lupus, but some may not know exactly what lupus is. Can you educate the audience on what lupus is?
Lupus is broad term. There's a few different types of lupus. You have
Mhm.
systemic, you have discoid, nephritis. I have systemic lupus, and
Okay.
basically any type of lupus or any autoimmune condition in general, it's your body attacking itself.
Okay.
And basically, your body doesn't recognize its own healthy tissues. And
Mm.
so, since it doesn't recognize those tissues, it attempts to attack them. For me, what it looked like when I was married and became pregnant, I miscarried.
Mm.
And that was because my body didn't recognize, okay, this baby, it's a healthy tissue. We shouldn't be attacking it. And
Wow.
so I actually had several miscarriages, and,
Mm.
and and that was the reason. Your body doesn't recognize this healthy tissue, so it attacks them.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So how are you doing today?
Oh my goodness. I am so blessed. God has blessed me more than I could ever ask, think, or imagine. I'm
Wonderful.
2 years in, living in remission. You
Wonderful.
know, I am definitely blessed. There are some things I do. One of the big lessons I learned is self care. We
Okay.
have to take care of our bodies, especially us as women. We take care of everyone else, and sometimes we leave ourselves lacking. So
Neglect. Yeah.
you have to take care of yourself. You have to invest in yourself. You cannot put junk into your body and think junk isn't going to come out. So you have to eat right, drink right, have some type of regimen where you're involved in some type of activity to just keep that body going, you
Yeah.
know. But yeah, two
So,
years in remission.
yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're in remission. And I take it from reading your bio, um, your journey through this lupus process is what encouraged you to pursue the field of the wellness coach, correct?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
So we're going to get to the wellness part, but I want to talk about the gerontology. Um,
Okay.
uh, and I have a question for you. Is normal aging considered a disease process as we get older? Because I notice I'm getting up there, and you notice things start going. Your vision. It seems like as soon as you hit 40, the vision starts going slowly but surely. Then comes the glasses or the contacts, the little aches and pains. Uncle Arthur, which I call arthritis. Uncle Arthur shows up. So is that considered like a disease process?
There's a big myth in our community that normal aging is a disease, and that's what it is. It's a myth. It's not true.
Okay.
Normal aging is not a disease process. What typically happens as you get older, your body does develop some conditions. However, for most people, that's lifestyle choices
Okay.
that plays a factor into developing the diabetes, the hypertension, yeah, list goes on. Because with the right measurements in place, you can age healthy. Now, yes, do we have some things that change as we age? Yes.
Okay.
However, those aren't disease processes. There's changes with our memory to where you might walk in a room and forget while
Mhm.
you went in there. Okay.
I know
But
that.
that's not dementia. That's not Alzheimer's. That's just, okay, I forgot it, and that happens. But normal.
I think because we hear about Alzheimer's so much and dementia, as soon as we start getting to that stage where we're a little forgetful, we start panicking. Am I developing Alzheimer? Am I getting dementia? When it's just a natural process
Yeah.
with aging. When you speak about memory, I've read and educate us. Are there things that you can do to help improve or maintain your memory as you age?
Oh, definitely. There are some things you can do. If you're listening, I don't care if you're 30 years old, start now. It's never too early to plan to age healthy,
Okay.
because as long as you're living, you're aging, regardless of your age. So, one of the great things we can do is use our brains.
Mm.
Literally, I'm so serious. Use it or lose it. in our technological driven world, we become so addicted to technology to do everything for us that
Yes.
we don't use our brains a lot. Our
Yeah.
GPS gets us from point A to point B if we're not for sure. We don't use maps anymore.
Mm,
We don't.
yeah.
I,
You're right.
growing up as a kid, I remember my parents using them, but by the time I became an adult, GPS all the way, you know.
Yeah.
Our smartphones keep numbers for us. They pretty much are our lifelines. So let's just use our brain a little more. Let's not become handicapped. Another great thing we can do, there's cognitive games you can use. Um, if you're an AARP member, they have a ton of cognitive stimulating games. It's free. You don't even have to pay for them.
Wow.
Some holistic things you can do. You definitely can take that ginkgo, take that frankincense and the essential oil. However, I will say with the essential oils, be sure to get one that is 100% pure.
And
Um,
it's funny you mentioned that because I just started using the essential oils, preferably the lavender. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I noticed the difference with me sleeping.
yeah,
Um, I use the diffuser, and I seem to get, excuse me, I seem to get a much better sleep.
yeah,
So I
hmm
do see a
yeah,
difference using that. Definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Lavender is very relaxing, real
Yes.
calming. It's a sedative. So
Mm,
yeah. Yeah,
okay.
they work, but like I said, you definitely want to use one that's 100% pure.
Okay.
Um, those that aren't 100% pure have additives, and those additives aren't safe for us to use and apply to our skin. Definitely not safe to digest as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
generally, what you find there at the dollar store, those essential oils aren't safe.
Okay. All right. And read the labels, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
Um, so do your homework.
Yes.
Matter of fact, you can go on my website and educate yourself on that. But yeah, you definitely want to be safe and consuming essential oils.
Okay. All right. And for those, I just put her website is CassandraRhill.com. And I'll post up her Facebook page also, Healthy for Life. But yeah, those are some good suggestions. What about reading too? Reading, I've always been told to stay healthy with your memory and your mind. Reading is very important.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always a plus. And the more we learn,
Hmm.
new knowledge, new information that we can use,
Okay.
great.
Okay.
Because we just want to keep those neurons growing.
Okay.
We don't want them dying out and not being replaced.
Okay. All right. So you talked about holistic alternatives, and I know we had a young man that we interviewed a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us his story how the doctors put him on this drug that he got addicted to. And me personally, I'm not one that likes to take pills all the time, even though there's some that I have to take. But talk to us about alternatives to taking these drugs. When is it safe, or you know, when you should talk to your doctor? You know, so what can we use to substitute for the drugs that they give us?
Okay. Definitely, I would say there's many medications that, there are some holistic alternatives for.
Okay.
Um, I would recommend if you're in an area where you have access to a naturopathic doctor, that probably would be a great thing to utilize, because normally traditional doctors of medicine aren't educated on holistic alternatives. And so their only skill set is the traditional pharmaceutical drugs. So if you're in an area where you have a naturopathic doctor, definitely I would recommend utilizing that. Some holistic alternatives that I use in my life, I definitely do supplements,
Okay.
vitamins. I definitely use essential oils, and I apply those to my skin directly, of course, diluted or ingestion as well. I would recommend, like I said, definitely utilizing a naturopathic doctor if you have one in your area. If you do not have a naturopathic doctor, connecting with just a wellness coach, um, which isn't a doctor. However, as a wellness coach, I know for myself and in the training I received as a wellness coach, we can promote healthy living as a lifestyle for you. And oftentimes what you discover when you implement just having a healthy life and not just doing a diet, you'll discover that you'll feel so much better.
Yeah.
And you will see a difference in your health.
And from personal experience, I think where we fail a lot is when we pick up one of these diets and we start trying to diet, and then we slip up, we go back to bad habits that we have, and the weight comes back. Instead of, like you said, instead of the dieting, look at it as a lifestyle change. Approach it that way. And I think that, I know for me, I'm more successful when I approach it as a lifestyle change as opposed to a diet.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And you have to be realistic with yourself and set goals that you can live with. I know for me, it wasn't that I was overweight. I was, I guess, normal size. However, I know there's certain foods that cause inflammation. And so I have to assess, okay, what can I live with? What can I not live without? Or things that I'm not willing to, I still want to enjoy. And so in me doing that assessment, I was like, okay, I can stop drinking soda. That's not a big deal. So stop. Pork. It was a little harder initially, but now it's, easy breezy. So I was like, okay, I can stop doing pork. So you just have to figure out, okay, um, was a hurdle for me. Can I live with this? Can I not live with this? For me, I used to eat meat every day, every day. Now, just 3 or 4 times, generally in a week.
Okay.
Occasionally, I want KFC. So I'm not going to say, well, no fried chicken at all for me, because I'm not willing to give that up. So you just have to be honest with yourself and determine what works for you.
Okay. And that the way you said it, I never even thought about it that way. You don't have to eat meat every day. You can cut that back instead of, we're conditioned that for dinner you got to have a meat, you got to have a starch, you got to have a vegetable, and instilled in us you got to have that meat at dinner time.
Yeah.
You can still have a healthy meal without the meat.
Yeah.
Definitely. So let me ask you this. If you have poor eating habits, no exercise, let's say you've developed high blood pressure, you developed diabetes, you're in your mid 50s, let's say you're 57, headed towards that 60 mark, and you just overall have bad habits, which are bringing on these health conditions, is it too late? I know there's a lot of people with the mindset when they get older, I'm too old to get in shape. Oh, I'm just stuck with this belly. Or, it is what it is. I'm old. I can't work out anymore. Talk to me about that. Can you turn yourself around and condition yourself and become healthy after having such bad habits?
Yes, you can. If you're breathing, if you're alive, it's never too late. It
Okay.
is never too late to invest in your health. Now, will I be honest with you? Will it be greater hurdles to overcome? Yes.
Okay.
However, you put in the work and you will see some benefits. I look at my life, I'm not in my 50s, but just being in my 30s. I lived a, I guess, semi-healthy life and was able to reverse my symptoms of lupus.
Okay.
My diet change. I'm not on any medications
Wow.
or any traditional medications for lupus. It is managed holistically.
Wow.
So this is something that I know can work. You just have to put in the work, and it'll just take a little time to start seeing some results, but
Okay.
it's possible.
Wow.
I know people in their 50s, 60s with diabetes and managing it holistically, making some changes in their diet, off their medication, blood sugars doing so well, they no longer need the metformin or the whatever.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's not too late.
Yeah. And I'm a big believer in you have to be the advocate for your health. You have to do the research. We go to the doctor and we just accept what the doctor says.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this day and age, we can't always do that. You have to educate yourself.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Education is critical. And there are some good doctors out there. Anyone that's listening, yes, there are some great doctors out there, and they have a role. However, in being a customer, it's just like going to buy a car. You're going to do some research. You're going to want some information about what you're potentially going to buy. Why not when you want this with your own body? This is your body that you're living in day after day. I don't care where you live in this planet. This vessel is going wherever you go.
Yes.
So educate yourself to know the best way to take care of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, is there anything you want to leave the audience with tonight when it pertains to their health? And you've made excellent points, but is there anything in particular you'd like to leave us with tonight?
Yes, I would like to tell the audience that self-care is the greatest way to show that you love yourself.
Mm.
If you love yourself, you will not harm this vessel that God has created. And what He created is so good. We just have to know what to put in it to keep it good. And so, if you need assistance in learning how to take care of yourself, I definitely recommend you finding a wellness coach, health coach. My business, Holistic Living Consulting, we provide free wellness consults, 15-minute initial consult free of charge. So there's no reason not to invest in your health.
Okay. And I posted up there the phone number to your holistic consulting. So if anyone wants to contact you, the number's there. And before we go, we got a couple of questions that from the audience. Someone wants to know, is juice better than soda?
Yeah, if you got to do one, definitely juice. Normally, soda has so much not just the calories, sugar, acid. It's just I'm at a place in my life where I will not drink soda. I just won't.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
gave up soda too. Yeah. And don't you have to be careful with the juices? Because some juices are loaded with sugar.
Yes, you do. You do. There's a lot of there's some healthy juices on the market if you're gonna do juice. I love the Boathouse Farms.
Yeah, they're
Um,
good.
it's more of they have some smoothie types. They
Hmm.
they have a whole line, but they're a whole lot healthier than the general juices you find on the market.
What about the naked drinks? Because I do those sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're both comparable, about the same. The Boathouse Farm and the Naked. Hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, Cassandra, thank you so much for joining us this evening and educating the audience. I am wishing you the best on your journey with your lupus. And you just been a joy to talk to. Thank you.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Shannon. It was a pleasure. I love sharing my story and hopefully empowering people to begin their wellness journey.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. And hopefully in the future I can have you back and we can talk some more. Okay?
Sure, I look forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
All right, audience. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope that you picked up something and learned something tonight. Cassandra gave us some great information on taking care of ourselves, and it's never too late to get healthy. I'm going to take her advice myself. But thank you so much for joining us. As usual, God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.